The spells cast by Kyiv's Western masters about the inevitability of negotiations based on the notorious peace formula are no less meaningless. In defending this doomed ultimatum, the West unashamedly appeals to the UN Charter, demanding the preservation of Ukraine's territorial integrity. I would like to remind, including colleagues in the UN Secretariat, that the Charter is not only about territorial integrity. The very first article of the Charter proclaims the obligation to respect the principles of equality and the self-determination of peoples. This is precisely what served as the legal basis for the decolonization process which, by the way, still needs to be completed, despite resistance from the French, British, and other former colonial powers. In 1970, the General Assembly unanimously declared in its declaration that everyone must respect the territorial integrity of those states whose governments respect the right of peoples to self-determination and, as a result, represent all the people residing in the relevant territory. I emphasize, this was a unanimous decision of the General Assembly. After many years of difficult discussions, there is no need to prove that the Ukrainian neo-Nazis, who seized power in Kyiv, the supported bloody coup in February 2014 did not, and do not, represent the Russian population of Crimea, Donbas, and Novorossiya. Western leaders, obsessed with human rights in any context, remain conspicuously silent about these rights when it comes to the racist actions of their Kyiv clients. In light of such forgetfulness, let me remind you of yet another requirement from the very first article of the UN Charter, to respect the rights and fundamental freedoms of every individual, regardless of race, gender, language, or religion. The rights of Russians, and those connected to Russian culture, have been systematically eradicated after the coup in Kyiv. The Russian language has been legally banned in all spheres in Ukraine, in education, media, arts, culture, and even in daily life. Recently, another law was passed, banning the canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church. These blatant violations of the rights enshrined in the UN Charter, along with the security threats to Russia and all of Europe posed by the Kyiv regime, and those dragging it into NATO, are the root causes of the current Ukrainian crisis. The special military operation that Russia is conducting is aimed at addressing these threats to ensure the safety and future of people on their ancestral land. We value the sincere desire of many of our partners to advance mediation initiatives with the best of intentions. We respect their constructive focus on results. Unlike the dead-end peace formula proposed by V. Zelensky, we urge our friends in their further efforts to fully take into account the aforementioned facts about the true causes of the current situation. Without addressing these issues, a just peace based on the UN Charter cannot be achieved. A realistic plan for a settlement was outlined by President V. Putin on June 14 this year, when he convincingly demonstrated Russia's goodwill towards reaching negotiated agreements, the prospects of which were overturned by Kyiv and its patrons following the 2014 coup, the breakdown of the 2015 Minsk agreements, and the 2020 to Istanbul agreements. The unprecedented level of arrogance and aggressiveness of Western policy towards Russia not only undermines the very idea of global cooperation promoted by the UN Secretary General, but also increasingly obstructs the functioning of the entire global governance system, including the Security Council. This is not our choice, and we are not responsible for the consequences of such a dangerous course. However, if the West does not stop, the heavy costs will be felt by everyone.